station just doesn't provide fire coverage to the eastern part of the city, it also provides fire protection to the uptown area as well. It's also worth noting that with respect to the particular hazards that are in this area, that again, as I mentioned earlier, with the number of industrial installations in our city, it poses a great challenge to us with respect to maintaining sufficient fire protection to those areas. If you think about the consequences of having a fire in an area such as in a pulp mill or in a brewery or so forth, it's just not the cost of the damage by the fire to the actual dwelling, but when you think about the interruption to the service for that particular business, the consequences could be catastrophic, really, when you think about the workforce that is currently employed at some of these larger facilities. So certainly we're always cognizant of that, and we try to ensure that we are always maintaining a standardized level of response to those areas to ensure that should we have an emergency there, that we can quickly and effectively deal with those situations. If I can bring your attention to another piece of equipment that we have here at this station, and this is what we refer to as the gator. And obviously it's designed for off-road use, and what this unit is designed for is, quite often, as you know, in St. John we have a lot of wildland area within the city proper itself, and as a result we have it's a tremendous challenge to deal with the various brush fires and grass fires that occur from year to year. This past year would be a prime example of that when you think about the warm summer weather that we've had. We had a lot of brush fires this year. We had crews at times on for hours on end trying to ensure that fires didn't get away from them, because obviously they would be a threat to the homes in the nearby vicinity, and certainly it's a real challenge. It takes a different type of tactics in order to fight woodland fires and that, and so that's, again, that goes with the training that we provide to our members as well as the specialized equipment that we would have. In addition to the gator, we also have a forestry unit here, which is a more compact, it's basically a mini pumper, and for a unit like this, this is designed so that we're able to, maybe we can stay on main access roads, but we can run lines off of this unit and be able to knock down knock down a fire before it maybe gets away on us. And again, you'll notice there was another piece of fire apparatus out on the front of the station here today, and I'll bring your attention to that. That would be engine 28. And of course, as I've indicated, our service is a 24-hour day, 365-day-a-year service, and we cannot afford to have downtime. And we have to ensure that we have a number of units that we can put into service when required. And this is one of our spare units, and again, we have two engine companies now that we use for auxiliary equipment, as well as a ladder truck. And in order to adequately provide fire protection, you have to plan for the unplanned, basically. And so by having a number of units that we can call upon to put into service at a moment's notice, that ensures that there's no interruption to this service in itself.
Come on over. You print your name for me right here. Can you do that? Right there. You be the first one to print.
Okay, welcome to station number 6. It's located on King Street West. It also has the distinction of being our oldest fire station in the St. John Fire Department. Primarily, this station responds to calls in West St. John. Second alarm coverage involves responding to the north end and the uptown area as well. With respect to the fire hazards associated with this station, it's obvious that a great part of their task is providing fire protection to the port facilities, and when one thinks of the number of, the amount of freight traffic which goes through the port in the run of a year, and container traffic and so forth, and fire protection is an integral, I guess, component to maintaining that service and ensuring that it is in an ongoing basis. This station has a crew of 4 personnel who are on duty 24 hours a day. We have a company officer, a junior firefighter, a senior firefighter, and a driver operator. And again, if you'd like to accompany me, we'll walk in the station here, have a look at some of the engine company which is housed here, and tell you a bit more about our open house today.
During the tour? Well, I'm not.
You can see here we have lots of company today, and a lot of the youngsters are always interested in viewing our facilities and having a look at the fire apparatus. One note here, if you'll notice with this unit, with the 4-door cab, and I should note that NFP requirements tell us that now that when we're purchasing new pieces of fire apparatus, they all have enclosed cabs, and this is for the protection of the firefighters who are responding to the alarms and that, and certainly it's a far cry from the days in which we had no roofs on or anything on these units and that, so certainly it's a great added feature to what we used to have. We'll proceed to the back here, and I'll tell you a bit about what we've done to prepare for our for our open house. Building on the theme of, again, we'd like to get to know some of the people in our neighborhood, and want to invite them, encourage them to come and meet with the fire service personnel on duty. We also have a number of prizes that we have at each of the 7 fire stations, and we have smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors and a few other gifts here that we are having draws on today. And what we're trying to do is, first of all, we want to recognize our open house in some tangible way, and would also like to provide some type of we can enhance awareness of fire protection, and by having smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors as giveaways, it just adds to that theme. Also, number 6 fire station also serves as a work center for our department. We have there's a tremendous amount of maintenance involved with maintaining fire protection and maintaining fire equipment, and all of the hose repairs for the St. John Fire Department is conducted here at number 6 station. We have a workshop in the back of the station, and quite often on-duty personnel spend many hours day in, day out repairing the hose and ensuring that it's meeting safety requirements. Each year our hose is tested to ensure that it's in compliance with regulations, and when we find that we have a problem with hose, we send it here, and the on-duty crews ensure that it meets the safety standards as dictated by our NFPA standards. You should also note over here as well that we have a hose rack here, which is certainly it's not unique to this station. It's in every station, and quite often the first thing that one has to do after fighting a fire when they come back to the station is they have to take all of the wet hose off of the unit and have to put fresh hose on. And part of the reasoning for this is because if you don't do it properly and you don't replace your hose, then it will mildew, and of course that will affect the integrity of the hose, and certainly it would pose a safety hazard if you don't have some type of preventative maintenance program for the lines itself, for the hose lines. So from here we're going to proceed to number 7 fire station on Manchester Avenue, and we'll have a look at the equipment that's housed in that station and tell you a bit more about the response the fire response in that area. As we continue on with our tour, I'd like to welcome you to number 7 fire station. It's located on Manchester Avenue in the city's west side. This station houses an engine company and a tanker unit similar to that of station number 2 on Loch Lomond Road. There's a 5-man crew here, or 5-person crew on duty on any given time, with a 4-person engine company and a firefighter driving tanker number 7. Now,